All right, UFC 251. Ooh, it is here. Today is the day. So this is the one we've all been waiting for, the main event, the one we all wanted in the first place. Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. Man, this is the fight, right? This is the one we've all been looking forward to. 170 pounds after Usman got Colby Covington out of there. This was the one that we knew was going to happen. This was the one that we were really looking forward to. So the question is, as it always is, who's going to come out on top with this fight? Who's going to come away with the belt? The thing about this fight is, it'd be really easy to classify it as a classic wrestler, Usman, right? He was a Division II, he was like a national champion 3 years in a row or something like that. He received accolades for his wrestling. We've seen him effectively use his wrestling in the UFC versus a stand-up guy like Masvidal. He goes out there, you can see everything that he puts together. You can see he primarily works in the stand-up, almost exclusively. If it's up to him, he's going to be using the stand-up and how good he is at that. So it'd be really easy to classify this fight as just those two style matchups against each other. But both of these guys have so much more to their game. They're both so well-rounded that you would be doing each one of them a disservice by trying to put them inside of a box like that. Look at Usman. He's been training with Henry Hooft down there at I want to say like Hard Knocks 365 or something. I can't remember. I'm not sure if that's the name of the gym. But Henry Hooft, the former kickboxing champion, he's worked with him for a long time, and you can see how Usman's game has developed and grown. His striking game has developed and grown over the years, right? Every fight that he comes out. As it stands right now today, you look at him, and you look at that fight with Colby Covington. So that's a classic example of how two highly accomplished wrestlers came into the fight. Their wrestling in a way negated each other. Neither one of them ever went for a takedown. The wrestling was very, very minimal. He even only feinted at a takedown one time. Both those guys kept it as a stand-up. It was like their wrestling and their wrestling pedigrees just canceled each other out, and it turned into a kickboxing match in a lot of regards. So you look at that performance from Usman. Now in that fight, he was the more technical striker, and he showed he has every strike available to him. Straight right hand, jab, left hook, front kick, low kicks. Like, he has everything. Uppercuts. But he doesn't put them all together well. He doesn't hide them well. He doesn't have great timing with all of them. He doesn't use each one at the proper moment. For example, in my opinion, one of his biggest flaws is the way he'll lead with that right uppercut. Right? He's orthodox, so that right hand's back, and he'll lead with that uppercut. Now, when it lands and it comes in sneaky against a guy like Colby Covington, who's a southpaw, not really accomplished, not as an accomplished striker, defense isn't great, it lands and everything works out great. But go ahead and try and get that shot off against Masvidal, an accomplished striker, a crafty veteran. It's not going to happen. And not only that, you're going to leave yourself wide open for counters. There's a reason that you don't see boxers at the highest level lead with uppercuts, backhand uppercuts. And it's because you're so exposed. And people who are really trained well can see that coming a mile away. And Masvidal is one of those guys. So Usman's good, but he's not great when it comes to striking. Not at all. He has way too many holes in his game. Like I said, he's got every punch, but he's missing the glue that holds it all together. He's missing the ability to get off good combos, how to use feints to throw off your timing when you work your way in, coming in and out and closing the gap, how to hide your power shots behind setup shots, how to put your punches and your kicks together well. He's lacking with those things, and Masvidal is just going to eat him alive when it comes to that, because that's his bread and butter. Okay, Masvidal on the other side, you look at him and his striking is crisp and it's clean. He's got great body kicks. He's got great low kicks. No wind up on him. No tell. Gets him off fast. He's got beautiful head and upper body movement in the way, and he uses it. He'll punch. He'll throw a counter punch and move his upper body at the same time. Right? Maybe it doesn't sound like that much, but look at a lot of guys. A lot of guys don't do that. That's high-level stuff. A lot of guys work off of beats. Maybe they'll move on the first beat, throw a punch on the second beat. Masvidal can do it all. He puts everything together so well. And Usman is going to have real trouble with that. Like, if this was a kickboxing match, Usman would be a heavy underdog. It would not last 5 rounds, in my opinion. Masvidal would eat him up. Usman's tough and he's strong and everything, but if this was a kickboxing match, it wouldn't be that much of a competition. It would just be a matter of when Masvidal was going to get him out of there, in my opinion. Because Masvidal he is impressive. His striking game is impressive. So then you think about, okay, but what is Usman? What else does Usman got? Because striking isn't even primarily what he does. When you look at his past fights, that's not what he really brings to the table. Sure, that's what he did in the Colby Covington match, and he used it and he won, but that isn't what brought him to the dance. It's his wrestling. Like I said before, he's got Division II national championships and stuff under his belt. He's an accomplished wrestler. He's big, he's strong, amazing gas tank. You look at it, a lot of times he uses his striking just to throw his opponents off, to close a little bit of distance. What he wants to do is he comes in and he applies that pressure, wants to get you up against the cage, get you in the clinch a lot of times, go chest to chest, dirty box, make it ugly, hit you with a few knees, and then occasionally try to drop down and get the takedown into single leg, double leg, take a guy down, and go with the ground and pound. Like, that's his bread and butter. He would love to do it every single round if he could. He'd strike for maybe 30 seconds or a minute, get in there and get that chest to chest clinch, work that for a little while, then get a guy down and beat him up. And he could do it for 10 rounds, right? His endurance is great, and that's what he's good at. Now, the problem is Masvidal has got some amazing counter wrestling as well. I mean, he's got really fast hips. Look what he was doing in that Damian Maia fight when Damian Maia went to take it down. Now, look, I get it. Damian Maia isn't Usman. Okay, Damian Maia's takedowns are not NCAA college-level wrestling takedowns. I understand that 100%, and I agree with you. So I'm not suggesting that. What I am saying is, look at the speed of Masvidal's reactions. Look at the speed of his hips, and look at the technique that he uses. The way he posts, the way he pushes Maia's head down, the way when he gets up against the cage, he digs for underhooks and spins off. Look at when he gets taken down. In some of his past fights, the transitions and the scrambling that he uses. He is good. I mean, just in the build-up to this fight, he was training with Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel is a top collegiate wrestler, and Bo Nickel was doing nothing but heaping praise on him about how fast he picks up on techniques and how well he does things. Like, Masvidal is no slouch when it comes to wrestling, or if he finds himself on the mat, how he's going to get up, how he's going to defend himself. I don't know. I mean, I think Usman was going to have a lot better chance against Burns. I think Masvidal is the perfect stylistic matchup for Usman. I really think he's going to be able to negate a lot of that wrestling. He might get taken down. I'm not saying that like he's going to be able to 100% takedown defense in this fight or something crazy like that, but I think he's going to be able to negate a lot of it. I think he's going to be able to stay on his feet. I think when he does get backed up against the cage and he gets up and Usman's got him chest to chest at the clinch, I think he's going to show really good technique. He's going to be able to avoid damage, spin off, get out of there, get back to what he wants to do, stay in the middle of the cage, throwing strikes. I think he's going to work that leg kick really well, which is going to chop at Usman's ability to push off, to get that explosiveness and that burst that he needs to close the distance. And he's going to tear him apart with his hands. When Usman throws that jab, I mean, Masvidal is going to tear him apart with that overhand right. He's got a beautiful counter overhand right, and I think he's going to use it to a lot of effect. I think he's going to piece him up. I think he's going to tear him up. Now, Usman's tough. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't expect, even though I'm saying I expect Masvidal to win this fight, it's like a 55-45 or a 60-40 at the most type odds that I'm putting on it. I am giving him the slight nod. I am making him the slight favorite. I think Masvidal is going to come away with this one. It's been a long road for him. I think he deserves it. It's going to be great to see him win it. But if Usman was to come away with the victory, I wouldn't be surprised for a second. It just means that he was able to find a way to implement his game plan, which, like I said, is that wrestling clinch-based approach, dirty boxing, try to get him down. When he is on the feet, land a couple hard shots and then close the distance again. That's his game plan. And if he finds a way to implement it, he's going to win. But when I look at it, when I look at past fights, when I think about how this is going to match up in their technique and their styles, I just don't see it playing out that way. I think Masvidal neutralizes that and gets the job done. So, Fight Island, UFC 251, this main event should be amazing. Should be a great fight either way. Should be a lot to talk about afterwards. It's really going to put, whoever wins this fight is going to put his stamp on the division. It's going to be solid. If Masvidal comes away with it, he's got some good contenders lined up because 170's got some beastie guys in it. Obviously, Gilbert Burns, who was lined up for this fight. He falls through with COVID-19. Hopefully he recovers, no problems at all, and he's ready to take on the winner of this one. That's going to be a great test for whoever comes out on the other side. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I've been really looking forward to it for a long time. I'm glad the day's finally here.